Well, it is officially announced that both Rwanda and DRC are going to start their joint operations against the FDLR in eastern DRC, as was agreed in the Washington Accord back in June. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the oversight mechanisms of that particular operation, which countries are going to join, as well as in this video, I'm going to tell you about the challenges that now exist in this operation that will be done by both Rwanda and the DRC against the FDLR. Well, this is Bonafide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on Eastern DRC, you get notified as soon as possible. Well, the Washington Accord presented a ray of hope for many lives in Eastern DRC that want a lasting peace. And this signing of the deal between Rwanda and DRC came with a lot of decisions. Part of these decisions was that the FDLR will be dealt with by both Rwanda and the DRC. This is because Rwanda does not trust that the DRC alone can wipe out the FDLR in Eastern DRC. The DRC also says that it doesn't want the FDLR, it doesn't need the FDLR in Eastern DRC. It says that the FDLR is part of the reasons as to why Rwanda is so much concentrated in Eastern DRC. Well, of course, that is what Rwanda says, that the reason as to why it is very much concerned about what is happening in Eastern DRC is because of the presence of the FDLR. Well, the Congolese government says that if the FDLR is the problem, then we are going to sort the issue of the FDLR. And Rwanda, on the other side, says that the Congolese government has been working with the FDLR in the past and that it doesn't trust that the DRC alone can do this task. So it was agreed that both of these countries are going to do joint operations to fight against the FDLR in Eastern DRC, and that once the FDLR issue has already been sorted, then there will be a lasting peace in Eastern DRC. Well, that operation, also dubbed CONOPS as the concept of operation, is what is starting in Eastern DRC, that joint venture between the DRC and Rwanda. But this is not only going to be a two-country venture, because there is a joint security coordination mechanism that will involve military, intelligence, and foreign affairs representatives from both countries, as well as involvement of the United States, Qatar, Togo, and the Africa Union. So these countries, the US, Qatar, Togo, and the Africa Union, are going to act as oversight mechanism in the neutralizing of the FDLR in Eastern DRC. But of course, with this decision also comes a myriad of challenges. And one major challenge is when the Rwandan government is going to lift the defensive measures. Because the lifting of defensive measures, as is taken by the DRC government, is the removal of troops who are assisting the M23 in fighting against the FARDC. So the Congolese government says that these troops have to be removed from Eastern DRC. Now the challenge is it was not stipulated whether that will come before the start of the demobilization of the FDLR or it will come after the neutralizing of the FDLR. Now that is still pending. Also, it was not agreed of who exactly will be targeting FDLR positions that are within the territories that are controlled by the M23 or very close to the territories that are controlled by the M23, because that is a hotspot. The M23, of course, is still at odds with the FARDC, with the Congolese government. And that means that any attack that is coming very close to the M23 by the FARDC, regardless of whether they are going to attack the FDLR, will be taken as a threat by the M23, that these are possible threats of an army that can at any time attack also the M23 because they are still actively in war in different parts of Eastern DRC. This is not to mention the ongoing clashes that are witnessed in Walikale as well as different parts of South Kivu. Despite the agreement and start dates being significant, the real operational impact depends strongly on actual implementation on the ground. Well, I will continue to keep you informed of the latest of what will come out from Eastern DRC. Right now that these operations against the FDLR will start, this joint venture between the DRC and Rwanda, I will keep you informed of how both of these countries will be coordinating, of, if any, there will be mistrust between these countries and the real impact of what will happen now that these operations have already started. Keep it Bonafide.